Talk with Tyson Bryden. Welcome to Nonstop Rock Talk. I am your host, Tyson Bryden. On today's show, I am very happy to welcome a bassist who's played with many great bands, including a very long stint with Quiet Riot, as well as House of Lords, Giuffria, and a long list of other musicians. He's now embarked on a solo career, so to speak, I guess you would call it. Please welcome Chuck Wright. Chuck, great to have you. How are you doing?
Hey, thanks for having me down.
No problem.
How's Toronto?
Toronto's good. It's we've been lucky this week. We actually have weather in the teens here for late October.
Well, it's summer out here. I'm in Southern California.
Yeah.
it's summer. It's 90 degrees last week. Anyway, so
that's good. Yeah,
I look forward to coming back to Toronto one of these days. I love that town. It's great.
Yeah, it's always a good time. And as we were speaking before we started the interview, I mean, the last time I saw you in Toronto was on the Rock Never Stops tour, which was It was funny that you mentioned 2005, and it seems like it was yesterday.
Well, that's what we were talking about. It's like, it does seem like it's yesterday, and I played with Alice Cooper, and that was like 20 years ago now, almost.
Yeah.
And the Quiet Riot Mental Health was 40 years coming up. It kind of freaks me out, really. The time has been going by that quick.
Yeah, it's mental. But as I kind of alluded to, you have a new solo effort entitled Chuck Wright's Sheltering Sky.
Yes.
You've just released, I guess it'd be the third video entitled Throwing Stones.
Actually, I have 4 out.
Okay.
And Throwing Stones is one I put out a little while ago, and I decided to reinvigorate getting attention on that particular song as this war in Ukraine seems to be increasing.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to draw attention and not let that disappear from everybody's radar. The song is an anti-war song, and it was lyrically written by Joe Retta, and he came up with the vocal melodies for it. I sent him the tracks, and pre the Russian invasion, it was like, a month and a half before, he sent me these lyrics, and I said, wow, this is interesting. It's anti-war. I go, I'm all about it. I love the message. Basically, throwing stones relating to when we first were humans walking this earth. We got our way by throwing stones at each other, and now we're throwing grenades and launching missiles. And when are we going to learn? How long will it take before we learn? Is one of the lines in the lyric. And the song's an aggressive funk tune that one reviewer compared to Primus meets Stevie Wonder.
It's a cool song.
Which if you're listening to it, I hear those elements definitely. And Mitch Perry, who you might know, did the solo on it. Yep. He's a killer. And the track itself is from, I did these sessions some years back with my late friend Pat Torpey from Mr. Big.
Yeah.
And we'd get together with me, him, and Lanny Cordola, who you might know from House of Lords. And we just would get together and just write songs. And we were doing some music library stuff for movies. And Pat said, I really love that Levee Breaks sample that Bjork used in Army of Me. And we both, everybody in the room would go, I love that song. And we just jammed on it. I'm not even playing the correct bass part, And I was going through some files, and I found these songs. And there's 3 songs on my album from those sessions that are basically just bass, rhythm guitar, and there's some soloing on Army of Me, though, from Lanny, and drums with Pat.
Yeah.
And they were so good. I go, to honor him and not to just let these songs like disappear into space. I wanted to finish them. So I took those tracks and I finished them. So Throwing Stones is one of them. And there's the Army of Me song is one, and It Never Fails is another one, which is more funk rock oriented, that has my friend Jeff Scott Soto singing lead on it. Yeah. And Scotty Hill from Skid Row is playing the solo in it.
Cool.
Yeah.
What kind of got me was the fact that, I guess as doing a solo album, you're kind of given the opportunity to maybe do stuff that you normally wouldn't get to do, because usually you're playing, a lot of times for years you've played someone else's songs, or you're in a band environment and you have a cutout sound that you have. First off, I never intended on doing a solo album. This was just me. COVID hit. I'm locked in.
I decided to start composing again. I didn't, I had no agenda. I just started writing songs for art's sake and doing songs and music that I would want to hear. So when you're listening to the record, you get, so many different styles. It's covering everything,
Yeah. Yeah. And
well, not everything. I mean, it's hard rock, jazz fusion, progressive rock. There's even a folk country kind of song that's like Robert Plant and Alison Krauss's thing that they have. And I actually have a Celtic piece on there with fiddle, 3 drummers doing tribal drumming. And the singer's David Victor, who sang with Boston, is a good friend of mine. Excuse me.
No problem. I mean, on Army of Me, you mentioned that, that you might not be playing the normal bass line, but that bass line kind of stands out to me. It's real powerful. It's
so
not powerful.
Identical, but it's very close. And the bass, I'm a bass player, so bass is featured. I have some songs where there'll be a passing part where you'd expect to hear a guitar, and I do fretless bass as the passing notes. And there's a song called Farewell Horizon that's an instrumental. I have 2 instrumentals on the record, and that song has 3 basses on it, all doing different complementary parts. And so it's that one, it's really unique. The other instrumental was the first song that I wrote when the pandemic hit. I'm looking around and everything's apocalyptic looking. Nobody's in the streets. All the cities are empty. So I wrote the song with that feeling, and I edited together a video with drone footage of Paris and New York and every place with no human beings, and except for one character that I had in a hazmat suit in it. But anyway, I put that out myself. I put it up, and Troy Lucetta, who you might know from Tesla, reached out and he goes, "Man, this track is cool. It sounds great with drums." I said, "Go for it." So he threw drums on it, and another friend of mine named Alan Hines, who's a huge jazz fusion guitar player here in LA, he threw me some solos that I edited together, creating the melody part. And then I reached out to Derek Sherinian from Dream Theater to do some strings and moog and theremin on it, and it all kind of came together. So I edited some of them into the video. Troy and Alan are in a new version of the video. I put that out myself. And so I had that. I did a video for Army of Me. And all this time, I'm like writing song ideas and finishing them reaching out to different friends, sending them a track, going, "Hey, what do you think? Do you like this? It's cool, right?" And they every one of them said that they would be into doing something on the record on whatever I sent them. I thought they'd be right for it. So I ended up having 41 guests.
Wow.
But the song "Weight of Silence," unbeknownst to me, was nominated for and won Best Instrumental and Best Video Rock Music Alliance Awards, and was presented by Tony K of Yes. And I was up against John Five and Joe Satriani category on the instrumental thing. So it's very surprising to me and unexpected. And I basically had 5 tunes together. And then I go, wow, I think I've got something here, And I had some other songs kind of finished and not finished. And so I approached some labels, and Cleopatra Records saw the vision, and they signed it. And, I was able to actually got real CD out there you can get on Amazon or at Cleopatra website, and it's everywhere on Spotify and YouTube, wherever. There are 4 music videos up that I did on YouTube, but there's also every track is up. So you can just get it. My main thing is I just want people to hear this so that they can see what I'm about music, because the record feels cinematic and it kind of feels like a concept album, even though it's not.
Yeah.
But it kind of feels like, and it was written during a kind of a dark era, with
COVID,
daily reports of death and everything.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's amazing that Pat Torpey is on the album.
Yeah, he was one of my best. He was a super close friend. I mean, we had a band in 1983 called Exposure.
Oh, really?
With John Purdell, who John Purdell went on to actually work on the QR3 album with Quiet Riot keyboards. I got him involved in that. And then he went on to co-produce with Tom Werman doing the Crew. Whenever you hear Girls, 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 when you hear the chorus, that's John's voice.
Oh, really?
All that stuff. Yeah. And he played No More Tears, all that. That's him playing all the keyboards. He worked on the Ozzy records. Yeah, and he was the lead singer, and he played keyboards in that band.
It was and then it was him and Dwayne Barron, right, that worked together. Is that correct?
Yeah, Dwayne Barron's the engineer. Good. Yeah,
that's right.
And I first met Dwayne when we were doing the demos for which became the Mental Health record.
Wow,
so many years ago. Yeah, and he's a Canadian.
Oh, is he? I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's Canadian.
I actually
he lives here, but yeah. Anyway, so
yeah, they did a bunch of albums that I really like. When they went, like when they broke away from Tom, like I think they did a Tangier album, and
they did Kicks.
They did Kicks, yeah, and I think they might have done a Junkyard album too. And they all sound phenomenal.
Yeah, rock. They're really great. And John was one of my closest friends. Sadly, he passed away the day before his 45th birthday.
Wow, too young.
Yeah, and just really close. I mean, same thing. It's like I've lost a lot of close friends. Which one of the songs on my album is called "See You on the Other Side." Came about. I got the phone call about Frankie passing away, and it brought back all those feelings of losing my friends and my mom and everybody. And I just sat down and wrote the song top to bottom. I had the chorus came out, and I finished the verses with a singer that I had been working with named August Young, who had been working with Frankie in a band. So different things inspire you to write, songs, and that was one that just happened.
And I mean, I'm sure it was therapy in some way too, as well.
Yeah, it is, and it's a song of hope. It's basically, I'll see you on the other side. I know you're gone now, but we'll meet again.
I will see you again. Now, I'm curious about. I mean, you mentioned Lanny Cordola, and I mean, he's doing something really different now too. He's over in Afghanistan, right?
That's why he didn't finish out the songs with me, and why he's not in the videos is he went to Afghanistan and started a music school for young women.
Yeah.
And like young girls from 7 to 14 or something, and which is kind of unique and unusual. I'm not really sure how he got involved in that whole thing, but and he's done videos with Sammy Hagar and Brian Wilson and all these big name people with the girls. Like they would film their part, and then these guys would get involved to raise awareness. They're called the Miraculous Love Kids .org. And then the Taliban took the country back, and he happened to be out of there when that happened. He was in Pakistan when it fell, and he spent the last 6 to 8 months getting his girls out, and they're all in Pakistan now, and he's trying to find them a location in Europe or the United States or somewhere right now to go to. Wow. But yeah, he became Gandhi as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, no kidding.
He went from this wild man rock and roll guy that I knew back when we were touring House of Lords to doing that. And in the 90s, we did a bunch of film scoring projects together, and we did a bunch of different albums. Some of my favorite albums, there's a thing called Chaos is the Poetry that I love. Greg Bissonet's the drummer on it.
Oh, that's cool.
From the David Lee Roth band.
Yeah.
And he plays the Ringo now, but just really, really eclectic and cool music. And we did 2 reggae records together. We did an ambient trance record. So the 90s for me were experimental, and we were just producing records back then. And I did some touring with Quiet Riot in the early 90s.
Yeah.
But back, and then eventually, I think I mentioned earlier, I at the end of that decade, I hooked up with Ronnie Montrose.
Right.
And started playing in Montrose.
That's cool.
And Pat Torpey was actually the drummer in that. And then he left, and we got Eric Singer, who you know from Kiss.
Yeah.
And Eric was doing Alice Cooper and asked me if I'd be up for trying out for Alice Cooper. And I said, he told me about the huge tour they were doing, 75 cities, 70 countries. And I said, yeah, definitely, So I checked it out. I got the gig, and then I told Ronnie what was going on. And I said, I've got the perfect bass player for you. His name is Ricky Phillips, from the Baby and Bad English.
Yeah.
Super close friend. And they hit it off. He's from Northern California, like Ronnie, and they hit it off great. In fact, Ricky did a posthumous album for him, a material that wasn't finished, and he finished it out with a bunch of people. I think it's called 10 or something like that. But anyway, so I jumped from that to Alice Cooper, and then from Alice Cooper, I rejoined Quiet Riot, and had been playing live with Quiet Riot until Kevin's passing,
right,
in 2007, and then I rejoined again in 2011. And
so how many times have you been in and out of Quiet Riot? Do you recall?
I haven't said. I'm guessing between 4 and 5
Really?
times. In and out for various reasons. My choice, their choice, timing. Rudy wanting to come back, or whatever the case may be.
However it worked out, yeah.
And it actually came at a great time for me this time, because with the solo record, and I the next day I got this great gig with the Legends of Classic Rock, which I've had one of the best years of my life this year, seeing it in so many beautiful places with a bunch of great guys and a killer band. We're playing Friday night actually in Atlanta at the Innovation Amphitheater. We're headlining that.
Cool.
Yeah.
That sounds exciting. I mean, you kind of explained it to me before we went on air, and I was like, wow, some of the places you went to.
Yeah, we went to some amazing places in Europe, and the band, we do songs from the guys in the band's catalog and songs that really inspired us to play in the first place. So it's pretty cool.
That's awesome. I often wondered, I mean, with Lanny, had you already left Giuffria when Lanny came into the band? Yeah,
at that point, I left Giuffria with Goldie, who went on to play with Dio, for the same reason, and that is, I'll never forget the conversation. We were sitting backstage right before we went to Japan, and we were, in the dressing room at an arena we were doing with Foreigner, and we started talking about the next album, and Greg and Dave goes, well, you guys know that nobody else is writing in the band. It's just the two of us.
Oh,
we went, what? Yeah, and they, like the first album, they go, yeah, it's just gonna be the two of us. You guys. So basically, we're being relegated to side guys, and we said that ain't gonna happen. And at that time, I got a call from Kevin, and he said, hey, Rudy just left the band. Would you like to come in and do this next album with us? And I ended up being a writer on every song on QR3.
Yeah.
And, we did the subsequent tour behind the album. And then when Kevin left, I left too. And then I did Pelletary with Graham Bonnet and Pat Torpey again. I was on that. And then I was asked by Greg to do House of Lords. And of course I said to Greg, I go, well, this is great, but do I get to write this time? And he said, yeah, everybody's going to be involved in the writing, So that's how that all came together.
So Paul Sortina you were never in the band when he joined Quiet Riot?
Actually, when Paul was coming into the band, I was still there, but knowing the politics of Paul and Wendy Dio and our manager and the record label and all that stuff that was going on, I just said, no, I'm out of here. It's not. I just didn't see that looking like a good situation to be involved in. And honestly, I think the record they did is great, but I love that record. I think they would have been better off, honestly, if they would have not used the Quiet Riot name and just used a new band name, because it's really good and it stands on its own. It didn't really sound like Quiet Riot.
No.
And if they would have called it something else, I think they would have had a better situation and career with it, with that band, with that particular lineup. It's a really good band, but they decided, I guess there was more dollars involved if they called it Quiet Riot than not.
It was kind of weird because I remember Rudy came back briefly after you had left. Rudy was, and there was like magazine photos with him, and then he left again and went to Whitesnake, and then Sean McNabb came in. It was really bizarre.
I don't remember Rudy coming back during that period. I just remember Sean coming in.
Yeah, it was. I remember. Do you remember that magazine Blast? Do you remember that magazine? And,
yeah, I do. And maybe they ran some old pictures. I don't know.
They ran a picture
Paul
with
in the picture.
What's that? Yeah, with Paul. Paul was in the picture, and Rudy was there too.
Yeah, I'm learning something new.
It was bizarre. It wasn't very long. He wasn't there very long, and then
well, he's like me. He's been in a lot of bands.
Yeah,
he's been very blessed in that he's gotten into bands right when they were hitting huge success. After the records were done, he came in and rode the wave, like the big tours and all that. So
Yeah, and
with Ozzy, with Whitesnake.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he's been very lucky. I mean, QR3 is actually probably one of my favorite Quiet Riot albums.
Thanks. I hear that a lot from people. Oddly enough, to me, it seems very different.
Yeah.
Again, from what Quiet Riot was really about, but the glue that keeps it Quiet Riot.
I love the vibe of it.
It's Kevin's voice. Yeah, the vibe's cool. I mean, you hear on my solo album, there's some of those elements in there with the depth with keyboards and different things in it.
Well, I mean, you did bass case on that, which was more or less a bass solo.
Well, yeah, it was a bass solo, and it's 12 tracks of basses playing it, not all at the same time, of course, but that came about. And it's kind of a jazz fusion piece, and actually that would fit on my record.
Yeah.
That came about because Carlos was supposed to have a classical guitar piece finished and together, and he just never could get it together for that.
Oh.
So I raised my hand. I go, I have something, and I had pre-recorded it over at John Burdell's, so I could show them what it was, and everybody goes, "Oh, this is great!" And it's only a minute long, but it has a lot in it in a minute's time. There's a lot of musicality going on there. With that, I'm playing tapping, I'm doing fretless, I'm doing all these harmonic bass. There's even a synthesizer bass. It's a pretty interesting piece.
It is. I listened to it today, actually, just before.
Cool.
Because I wanted to talk about it, and I always thought it was so cool, right?
Well, you're the first guy that's out of all these interviews that I've done over the years that brings up that song, which I'm really happy about.
Yeah, no, it's. I mean, the album was different for Quiet Riot, but honestly, I think it was the first Quiet Riot album I actually bought. I was, like 86, and I always loved The Wild and the Young and Main Attraction and Twilight Hotel. Yeah. And then as you get deeper in the album, it's just got there's just that vibe about it.
And I really believe that a couple things, that album and the band's career at the time could have been continued in a larger scale like it should have, if one, Kevin was a little bit more, humble about things, and not, he would do ill-advised interviews a lot.
I remember.
I don't know if you remember back then, and we kind of became a hated band because of that.
Yeah.
And the other thing is we made this brilliant video with Jeff Stein. You might know, who did the Who movie documentary, and it's a brilliant video for Wild and the Young. Yeah. And at the time, as you know, in the mid '80s, MTV was all powerful.
Yeah.
And and they had this show where they pitted videos against each other.
Right.
And David Lee Roth had just released Yankee Rose, and that was the hottest thing. It's a killer band with the singer from Van Halen, right? That just came out the week before, and they decided to put our video up against it the second week.
No.
And I'm going, you got to be kidding me! Give us like 3 or 4 weeks, give us a chance. But sure enough, it came. We didn't beat David Lee Roth when he's just coming out of the box. Even though our video's killer, I still look at it once in a while, and I think it's awesome. In the future, no rock and roll.
I loved it. I loved that video.
Yeah, Wink Martindale, no rock and roll.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so pretty cool.
And those, weren't there guys in like iron suits and stuff, and or something? It's been a long time since I seen it. They had or shields or something.
No, there wasn't, but there were actually. You're right. There were military,
right,
where they all pointed down to shoot us, and we actually got a bunch of bad guitars from Jackson that were never going to be sold or used, and threw them in tree mulchers. Like they would take the police officer, the military guy would take the guitar, throw it in the tree mulcher, and we got a bunch of flack for that because we were ruining guitars, but they were never playable to begin with. I just remember back then, and that was the height of censorship too.
PMRC type of thing.
Yeah, exactly, and so there was the way it ends is no rock and roll. And they closed it. It's like that. A lot of censorship with lyrics and all that back then, where they were labeling the records, and actually what they found out was that when you label the record, it sells more.
I remember because I was a kid, so
forbidden fruit, right?
That's right. When Guns N' Roses came out, there's a label on this, I got to buy this.
Yeah, exactly. So it worked reverse,
Yeah, exactly. Now, one of the forgotten Quiet Riot albums, I think it's forgotten, is Down to the Bone, which I believe you played on.
I did play, and I helped put the songs together as far as arranging and worked with everybody on it. And I agree with you. I think it still stands up. There's some really great performances on it. Kevin sang great. And, you know, they didn't have a huge budget back then to record it properly. It might have sounded a little bit better than it does, but I think the songwriting and the performances are really good.
Yeah, I mean, it was such a bizarre time, right? 1995. And
yeah, it's like it was grunge era. It's like, you know, we were playing like clubs, little clubs everywhere.
It's crazy.
Just trying to get by. It's like this. And now it can't, and then it came back. People started to dig it again. You know?
It was hard for me. Like, I don't remember. I didn't buy it until years later on eBay because I was trying to hunt this thing down. It was hard to find.
Oh, okay.
Right. So, I mean, I had Terrified when it came out, which you weren't on, I don't think. And
I only sang on it.
I like that album.
They wanted to keep. It's a good album. They wanted to keep the same vocal sound,
right?
Which was created with Kevin, myself, and Carlos singing the same note and 4 registers. You know, multiple times, a bunch of times, and that's how we got that sound.
Because Frankie doesn't play on that either, does he? I don't think.
Yeah.
Does he play on Terrified? I thought Bobby Rondinelli did, but
No, Bobby was just in a touring thing.
It's in the touring thing with Kevin, yeah.
Kevin.
That's all off the top of my head. I can't remember exactly.
Yeah, I know. Well, you know, it was a long time ago. So.
It was.
That was 30 years ago.
Yeah, so, I mean, getting back to that album, I had a hard time finding it. And I think at the time I ended up paying like $30 or $40 about 15, 20 years ago to get it. Wow. And I never saw it when it came out. I know it was released in North America, but it was one of those things that was hard to find. Maybe if you had gone downtown Toronto, like the HMV store that used to be on Yonge Street, you might have found it, but you weren't finding it in a normal record store, which is unfortunate. I mean,
yeah, well, that was even back in the 80s when I was with Giuffria. We had a hit single. We're on a sold out tour with Deep Purple and with Foreigner, and we go to the record stores and you couldn't find a record.
That's crazy.
It was, it didn't make sense to me. I go, why are we out here? It's like, we're out here to promote an album that you can't buy. So it was so ridiculous.
I'm still trying to find that one on vinyl. I don't have it on vinyl. I have the
really?
Yeah, I have the second album, and I have the first one on disc, which was the one on Axe Killer, I think it was, the reissue.
Yeah, a re-release, of it. Yeah. And that's a record, that first Giuffria record, it's really strong musically. I just wish, Andy Johns, who, people might know him from working with the Stones and Zepp and Van Halen and all that. He told me when he goes, I really don't know how to mix. He goes, I'm going, great. So, but when you hear it, it's like way too much. To me, I wish that album and the first House of Lords record that Andy did with us could be remixed.
Yeah.
It's hard for me. There's so much reverb on everything. It's hard for me to even listen to this stuff.
What was it like live? Like Giuffria, was it different than the album sounded?
Oh yeah. Well, it's way more aggressive sounding.
Yeah.
I mean, the band, check this out. The band, we're doing our first show with Deep Purple, right? And we're all excited. And that energy that you have from, I can't even explain to people what it's like to be standing backstage when the arena lights go off and you hear the crowd for the first time. It's just remarkable. And we took that energy on stage and we did an amazing kick-ass show. The audience went crazy. The next day, our managers told us, you guys are off the tour. We go, what? And they go, well, you can stay on the tour. Richie Blackmore is the person. He said, he goes, you guys can only stay on this tour if you, A, cut out your last song, which was our big ending up-tempo killer song. Cut out Craig Goldie's guitar solo. He used to do a solo where Dave Isley would hold the guitar up like this, he'd play it like a keyboard. It was pretty awesome. I mean,
that sounds amazing.
Done that, right?
Yeah.
And they cut our set from 45 minutes to 27 minutes. They made us go on 5 minutes before the announced showtime. They took away our crew meals. They took away half the sound, half the lights, and they taped where we could walk. They tried to make it as miserable for us as possible, just because we kicked ass on the first night.
That's horrible.
Richie got all freaked out. Well, we got a little bit even, not that it's cool. I mean, we still went over without the last song, and we, the band did good. We were able to, after about 2 months, I think of that, we jumped onto the Foreigner tour, and they had a #1 song with "I Want to Know What Love Is." They treated us great. It was a better audience. It was a lot more female demographic in the crowd, which was better for our single, which was called "Your Heart," which is that kind of song. So, but what Deep Purple didn't realize is our managers controlled Midwest radio, and they lost I think 45 or 50 stations that week on their single, and their album started tanking.
Was that Perfect Strangers album?
Yeah, the Perfect Strangers album, because of what they did to us. And then on the last night, this is a funny story. I don't think I've ever told this one. On the last night of the tour, I think it's in the Perfect Strangers song where it goes da 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 da. They have all these lasers going, and it's a big highlight in their show, right?
Yeah.
I think we're playing at the Spectrum in Philadelphia, which is, I don't think it's there anymore, but suddenly, for some unknown reason, all the lights went out. All the power went down. What happened?
No
Completely
way.
crushed their show. Huh?
No way. That's cool.
Oh, yeah.
It's kind of fun. I mean, you guys are probably going, oh, really?
Yeah, it's like, I don't know how that happened.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
kind of put a wrench in the gears for that one. But yeah,
Wow,
anyway, so.
I mean, the Foreigner audience would have been, I mean, like you said, it was probably more of a better demographic. It was actually, well, you know what? Giuffria Live, we had some pretty aggressive, heavier songs. Yeah.
And with Craig Goldie, the way he played guitar.
Oh, man. Yeah.
But yeah, when we're doing a song like Called Your Heart, it's going to go over bigger with a Foreigner type crowd, definitely.
Yeah.
In fact, they were doing a video for, I think it was a song called That Was Yesterday, and they were doing flyovers of the audience and all that, but it was our audience, because our audience was more animated. They were more, because we were more of aggressive type band. They were kind of passive. I mean, take nothing away from it. It was a hit after hit after hit after hit show, but as a performance in the show, they're kind of mellow.
Right.
Where we're really super aggressive. Dave's flying all over the place, like David Lee Roth kind of vibe live. And so the audience was really animated. So they filmed our crowd and used it in their video.
Wow. Did you get 45 minutes on that tour though? Yeah,
we got our full opening.
I mean,
set. They treated us great. I mean, Lou Graham took us out to his restaurant in Rochester that he owns, and had dinner with him. And yeah, he's great.
That's amazing.
Excellent. Really great band.
I mean, you guys, getting back to the Deep Purple thing, you guys must have been frustrated by that though.
Well, you know what? I think the person that was disappointed the most was Craig Goldie, because he was such a big fan of Ritchie Blackmore's. Oh. And to have Ritchie, be like that. And, one of Ritchie's routines also was he would have a guitar, the Stratocaster, that would break away and then go back together. And he'd sit it on a chair and he'd kick soccer balls at it. It's like weird, quirky. And he would get on stage when we're playing and he would go mess with our mix.
Really?
Yeah. Just.
Oh, man.
I know. It's whatever.
I mean, you probably wouldn't be. I
was a big, in rock when I was, a very young kid. That was a big influence on me. I love that album, Speed King and all that. And they were, forget everything that they did to us. They were every night amazing.
Yeah.
I remember one night Ritchie was mad because there was press taking notes. He refused to come out and do Smoke on the Water in the place. This was in Cleveland. Everybody picked up their chairs and threw their chairs at the stage.
Wow, that's crazy. How many dates did you end up doing with them? Do you recall?
I just remember it was a couple months, and we were doing maybe 5 shows a week, something like that.
Wow.
It was a bus tour. My first experience doing that. I had a great time.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a highlight. Both those tours were, when I go back in time and think about that was great.
I mean, it must have been good momentum for the band, though. I mean, you're getting to play for those audiences.
It was. We were getting in front of audiences, but again, they couldn't go buy our record because it wasn't anywhere to be found.
What's with that?
I mean, we sent people out. Hey, could you go? People in Dallas or wherever. Yeah. Hey, could you go to a record store and see if our album? No. They set up an in-store for us, and this is Spinal Tap. We go down there to do an in-store signed product, and they didn't have it. So it's just
really,
didn't that? Yeah,
that's total Spinal Tap.
Yeah, it's very frustrating. Yeah.
That's crazy, and that was MCA, right? Was that MCA?
It was on MCA. Yeah.
Man, that's crazy. Well, jeez.
Yeah, so that was then, and it's been, my career has been like a roller coaster, and like a lot of people, and, in and out of a lot of bands, doing a lot of albums, a lot of sessions, and when I can. And I've had a local acoustic group called Acoustic Saints with violin, mandolin, and reinterpreting classic rock stuff that I love playing with. I just do that because I love it.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's
I'm always trying to keep busy. And I do Ultimate Jam Night. I don't know if you're aware of that. It's I started in 2015. DJs are starting to take over Los Angeles, and musicians we really needed a place to socialize, get together. So I started it, and it became this huge thing. And it was weekly until the pandemic hit, and then we started back this past year every other week. And then I got busy in Europe, so now our next show is December 6th. And it's a themed show. It's immersive, and I coordinate between 45 and 100 professional musicians to come down. And it's a free show. It's for the community. You can see it if you want to know about it. Anybody listening out there, ultimatejamnight.com. I mean, I've had Dee Snider, Robin Sander, Doug Pennick. Yeah. I've had Motorhead guys after Lemmy passed. They came down and we did a Lemmy night. We tried to do a reunion of the Eat 'em and Smile band.
I remember that, yeah.
David Lee Roth band. And David Lee Roth was there, but the club kept letting in. This is a different club. They kept letting people in, It
got shut down, right?
Yeah, I was fighting with them. I go, you can't keep letting people in. And they just said, no, let them, so.
That would have been
of course, right before they were going to start, the fire marshal shut it down. But we did get that band together again to play live at the NAMM show in Anaheim. So we did an Ultimate Jam Night NAMM show, and Jeff Scott Soto actually sang for him.
That's cool.
Because we couldn't get David down to Anaheim.
I mean, I think it would be amazing if they got together again. If they did, a tour or something.
It would be great, but I mean, I don't know if you've seen Dave lately or what he sings.
Yeah, I know.
I wish we could get him back the way he was when he started out. I remember I saw Van Halen at a place called the Starwood here in Hollywood with 30 people in the crowd.
That's crazy.
And I'll never forget my impression of this band was, man, the singer is a direct ripoff of Jim Dandy. Total.
Yeah.
The way he talked to the crowd, hey, I'm nasty, all this, whatever, in his outfit, the hair, all of that. I thought the guitar player was amazing. I go, wow, who is this guy?
Yeah.
And that's what I thought the rhythm section was really good. Yeah. And they had good rockin' tunes. But, I never knew that they were going to blow up like they did.
It's crazy, right?
Yeah. It's great.
I mean, Dave Lee Roth took Jim Dandy to the next level, right?
Yeah, well, when you think of a rock star lead singer persona, it's David Lee Roth and Mick Jagger and Steve Tyler come to my mind.
Exactly. Yeah, me too.
They all have that same
Robert Plant. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he's not as flamboyant as those three guys.
Well, that's true. That's true.
Robert's kind of very calm. He's a presence.
Yeah.
But those three guys are like, they're all over the place dancing and going nuts, right?
I guess maybe Freddie Mercury too.
Yeah.
Maybe, right?
Well, yeah, he was one of the best Bowie,
Wow. I mean, there is one more I had a House of Lords question for you. The second album, which was Sahara, did Doug Aldrich play all the guitars on that album?
He played 95% of it on the album. And the reason his picture isn't there is because he was going to go
to Hurricane,
do this Hurricane tour, and couldn't do the tour. And the label and every management all thought, well, we shouldn't have pictures with a guy that's not going to be in the band or videos. Yeah. So Greg decided to get this guy that gave us a tape that was brilliant, a cassette, and he did a solo on the album, which was pretty good. And he did the videos, and he looked great, and he mimicked everything. But when we went to rehearse, he couldn't play through a song. Yeah, totally. The person on that tape that we heard was Mitch Perry. It wasn't him. Anyway, so this person, our bad for not vetting him more and saying, let's get in a room and play with him and make sure we have a chemistry and all that, which is what we do. But we were in such a mode, go, rush kind of thing. And Greg was more running a lot of the shots and the manager at the time. We ended up ripping us all off, or except for Greg, ripped us off bad. But anyway, so we ended up with the guitar player that couldn't get through the songs, and then Doug's tour didn't happen. And so Doug joined us and did that tour.
That's right.
Which was a really killer tour with Nelson and, a female audience again.
That's a great lineup.
85%. Yeah. So it was a really good tour. We did Cheap Trick before that, though. Not the Sahara tour, but the tour before that was Cheap Trick had the song The Flame was out, and we toured with them. I actually got to sing on one of their albums because I was at the same studio and asked me to come in and sing it, which is cool. That's cool.
Was on the second album, was Gene still involved with Simmons Records as much?
Yeah. It was Gene's thing. Yeah. He wasn't as hands-on with the band because he didn't really need to be, because everybody was a seasoned professional, and my only wish for that is that he would have done his custom label deal with a rock label and not a country label.
Which was RCA, right?
Yeah, RCA. They didn't really have a rock promotional team together. They had some good people there, but overall, they really weren't a rock. I mean, we had the most requested song on rock radio in 1990, I think it was, with our remake of Can't Find My Way Home, and they couldn't do anything.
That's an amazing version of that song.
Thanks. Yeah, I think that's one of Doug's best guitar solos that he's ever played, in my opinion.
Phenomenal song.
James's vocals are phenomenal.
I mean, that's a great album. And that's one I've been trying to find on vinyl. You can get it in Europe, but I don't have it yet.
Oh.
But I found the first album when I was in Portugal on vinyl.
Oh.
Yeah, which was a good find.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't even think I have it.
Oh, no?
No, I don't think so. I don't know. I have to look. I don't think I have it. No.
That's cool. Well, Chuck, I really want to thank you for joining me today. It was truly a pleasure. It was great to hear all your stories, man. Thank you so much.
Well, we could probably talk for a few more hours, but I appreciate it. And thanks for checking out my record, Chuck Wright, Shelter Eat Sky. Yeah. And everybody, you can go on YouTube and you can listen to it, or you can go to Amazon and get it, or you can go to Spotify and listen to it and check it out. There's some amazing performances by a lot of really great friends, and I'm very proud of the work.
Yeah, and I actually, when I was on YouTube, there is a link to Cleopatra on YouTube when you watch the videos. So if anybody looking for a physical copy, you can actually click on that, which is good.
Yeah, Amazon's easy too.
Yeah, Amazon. Yeah,
both good. Right on.
Okay, well, Chuck, thanks so much again.
Nice talking to you.
You too.
Keep
thanks.
in touch, all right?
Yes, absolutely. Cheers.